Galen, Galen, good morning to you.
What's going on, my man, Tom? How are you?
I'm better than some in the city today. I'll just leave it at that. Better than some in the city, and I can't really.
Job.
Yeah, I have a job. That I do have a job inside the city limits of Ocala. I can't say that
as a manager.
As a manager, yeah. I can't say that for a lot of people. I'll just leave it at that for now. Galen, I got a question for you. I've been getting a lot of emails here over the last couple of weeks of people just highly, and we talked about this before, they're highly aggravated and highly agitated about what they say is urban sprawl, pushing the small town feel out of Ocala, getting rid of the small town feel. And now somebody made a point yesterday that as we see all these townhomes and houses going up, how long before we see the orange cones and bulldozers? Because they're going to have to start widening roads, and because they're going to have to do that, why didn't they widen the roads and do that infrastructure before they allowed all this building to take place?
And again, that's a fair question.
It is
a fair question, but they're doing all these traffic studies. And by the way, I've never seen a traffic study come back against a development.
No, that development's look. Over the next 20 years, the traffic will be too bad. We're against that development. It just won't work. No, I've never seen a study like that.
Never, ever happened. So, yeah, I mean, those are fair concerns. I get it, but at some point, we're going to have to house these employees that we need to run all this infrastructure. Right?
Oh, you got to have the housing, and we're 4,000 houses deficit. According to the county, we're about at a 4,000 house deficit or living space deficit for Marion County. We have about 4,000 more people in need than we have homes.
And look at, just drive down 75 and look at all of these major employers that are trying to move in, and we're just trying to find people to work here. They've got to have a house somewhere. And again, we all know that Orlando's coming further and further north, and we could talk about Disney if you want, but that sprawl is happening, and it's happening everywhere in Florida. When you have a governor who's kind of leading the way on the way we handle this pandemic, and we're coming out of this pandemic arguably better than any other state is. That's what's going to happen. More and more people are moving to Florida because they see it as an opportunity, and I think that's a good thing long term for us, but it just means we're all going to have to adapt and change a little bit.
I told somebody to email yesterday when they said it. I usually, just say thanks for listening, but somebody asked me about the urban sprawl and why they haven't done the roads first and everything, and I answered the email going, all of those are valid questions, but I think that I likened Ocala, and tell me because you always tell me whether my analogies stink or they're pretty good. And right now, I think I'm 99 is they stink, and one of them has been a pretty good analogy.
Correct.
I think is what you.
That's about right.
Yeah.
That's about right.
But I said, think of Ocala and Marion County as a child in puberty right now that all of a sudden had a growth spurt. It's called growing pains. It hurt. It's going to hurt for a while. But eventually, long term, we'll grow into it and we'll be better for it.
Well, this isn't our first growth spurt.
No.
Right. I think the housing market completely changed Ocala, right? With the boom
when it crashed, and then it crashed.
2004, right? Starting in 2004, and then crashing in, let's just say 08. I think that's when it all ended. Was in probably 08, 09 is probably when we.
And then we were kind of gun shy to build again until about 18.
Well,
and then the pandemic hit.
Maybe 17, because we were doing all that development downtown, and then the pandemic hit, and now we're coming out of the pandemic, and let's be, I love this word. Let's be clear. We were not impacted by the pandemic in our community the way some were.
No.
Right? Not nearly.
We were shut down. We were literally shut down for about 4 weeks. That was it.
Right. Which is terrible, but at the same time, there are still people that are shut down. So, we came out of that, and I also believe there was a surge of into our economy from people who typically live in another state or another country just says, I'm just going to move down there, we'll just live there longer. That's been the major emphasis, and now everybody else is following them. So I think we're in good shape. The question will be and by the way, you know who defines what Ocala is? The citizens of Ocala.
Of course.
So
citizens of Marion County, exactly.
What defines us is how we treat one another. What our police force looks like, and our civil leaders, our city managers, and the kind of fairs that we put on and the festivals. I don't think we're ever going to lose the parade.
No, it's going nowhere. No. Light Up Ocala's going nowhere. Yeah.
Right. I think those are the kinds of things that define us. So, and this radio station isn't going anywhere because we keep doing it, and they keep not paying us.
The reason they use us here on the radio station, you and I, is we were cheap and available.
Correct.
That's what Coach Spurrier used to say that. Well, I got that job because I was cheap and available.
Yeah, well, and it's we continue to show up.
Yeah.
So. But again, no, I really believe that's what's going to establish.
But it's still a very fair.
Always change.
But it's still a very fair point that is made. Are we doing it backwards? And we can't help but do it backwards because the housing, you have to have it now, and you have to get it built. So we're doing it probably a little backwards by putting the infrastructure in after the housing, because the roads are going to have to be wide. 36th is adding almost 600 new units, housing units. 36th is going to have to be widened. There's no doubt about that. WEC, it took the world by storm, but it's required now that they're going to have to widen 80. They should have done that first, but they didn't. They built WEC first, and now they're going to widen 80.
First, two things. One, we don't always have the money to do it first.
Right, of course.
Right, we need that tax revenue to come in. And I think everybody, especially me, has been pleasantly surprised by just how much energy that is bringing to our community.
Well, that's why I had the discussion yesterday. The discussion is back in the news again over, is Lexington or is Ocala the horse capital of the world? And I said yesterday on the radio program, yesterday after you were on, I said this argument to me isn't an argument at all, because Lexington is the thoroughbred horse capital of the world, because that's what they do. They do thoroughbreds. But Ocala, Marion County, is the horse capital, because not only do we do thoroughbreds, we do quarter horses, we do Arabians, we do Mustangs, we do Pasafinos, we do hunter jumper. There's every discipline of horse in Ocala, not just thoroughbred. So by proxy, that makes Ocala the horse capital of the world. Lexington can be the thoroughbred horse capital of the world. And I think that defines us. Like you said, you got to find the things that define you.
And again, nobody doubts the horse community has completely changed Ocala, and in a very, very positive way. But we've got to figure out we still have some real issues that we're facing, but I think it's still Ocala. The schools define us, right? Our school system. And as long as we can we haven't talked about the school board in a while. No. As long as we can continue to elect the right people to the school board, or maybe start. Well, I guess.
Well, I was about to say, have we though?
Yeah, and they're not nominated by the governor because of how much he gives.
Well, look, that's not a full-time job.
He loses his mind.
That's not a full-time job.
Yeah.
Speaking of full-time jobs, I have a full-time job, and if I don't take a break, I won't get any money. Oh, wait, I don't get any money anyway, but I still got to take a break. We'll be right back after this timeout. You're listening to Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Here's the latest from the College of Central Florida. On Wednesday, April 20th at 8:35 a.m., Bonnie Hayes and Diana Worthman will tell us about the college's Employer Connection Service to help students and graduates connect with local employers. Tune in to hear about ways CF can help local employers find qualified students and help graduates find jobs and internship opportunities. That's Wednesday, the 20th at 8:35 a.m. on Higher Education Happenings.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Wednesday, yesterday, Galen, you all joined us from Life South, thanks to good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, Penn Flooring, and JustShip.net. Yesterday, Galen, a very savvy move was made, and I'm not going to get into the company versus the governor. I'm not going to worry about that.
Cool.
I'm going to tell you why I think the governor is a very savvy, very intelligent, very polished politician. Not just was he a good JAG lawyer. This is a man that gets how to play the game, and he's very good at it. And I'm going to tell you why I think that. Yesterday, he announced at a press conference in the Villages that he was going to ask the special legislative group to roll back any special districts that happened before 1968, which leaves all the special districts that happened after 1968 he doesn't want to mess with. By the way, one of those special districts, the Villages, but it was created after 1968. He specifically said after 1968 because of an agreement in 1967 between the state and Disney to allow it to self-govern. It does its own police. It does its own infrastructure. It does its own electricity. It does pay property tax to Orange County and Osceola County, but it doesn't all the upkeep of the parks, their roadways, everything that usually the county would have to maintain because you're a property owner. Disney does that themselves, and it's not a burden on Orange County or Osceola County. And here's why the man's genius. Not only did he tell Disney, you want to come out against my law that says you can't talk about sexual orientation to a kindergartner? You want to publicly say that we were wrong and backwoods, basically? Well, we're going to come after your special exemption. And, oh, by the way, by doing so, if the legislature votes to do away with your special, now I get back at Jerry Demings, too, who is the mayor of Orange County, because now I put all that, the onus on Orange County to fix the roads, to deal with the water and sewer, to supply fire services for Disney, which will make the tax burden on Orange County and its taxpayers and Jerry Demings, the leader of that county, even that more burdensome. So he's actually trying to punish Disney and Jerry Demings, the mayor of Orange County, I believe, all at the same time. And if he is, that's a savvy move by a savvy politician.
Well, I agree with you. The way he worded it, perfect. But let's be clear, he's not gonna get rid of this exemption. It will cause way too many problems. For everything you just said, it'll actually cost us money.
It'll cost the citizens of Osceola County and Orange County a bunch of money.
But it'll also cost us because the Orange County, they'll instantly have to raise their fuel taxes. They're going to have to do a lot of different things because if they don't,
got to pay for it somehow.
Everybody, but the sprawl will be even worse than it is now. Tom, you talking about now? Ocala is a bedroom community for Orlando tenfold of what it is now.
Well, think about this.
So,
do all those conservation areas, if Disney has to give up its own autonomy, all those conservation areas that they've set aside that nothing can go according to Disney, nothing can be built there, if it becomes part of Orange County, now you got a whole different problem because now Orange County laws govern all the conservation areas and everything.
And I don't think anybody wants it. And I understand that Disney dipped their toe into politics, but I think they're a pretty good neighbor, right? Nobody's looking at Disney and going, "Oh, they're horrible people." Their parks is, and you can attest because you spend
a lot of time
money to them all the time. It's a beautiful place to be.
It really is.
It generates a lot of money for our state.
It's not too far off when they say it's the happiest place on earth. It's not too far off.
Right, and again, DeSantis just fired a shot across the bow. And, by the way, he's kind of removed himself from doing anything more because he's like, I'm just saying we should review it. Right? He's not saying we should do it.
Well, because here's the other problem with it. As soon as they do it, if they did it, if they were able to do it, Disney will just go to court and say, no. Why are you picking on our special district when there's 1,100 other special districts? And why are we getting picked on? Why'd you do away with ours and not everybody? And I think constitutionally they'd be right. And so, the whole thing before 1968, that could be problematic if it ever went to court. And I know he's not going to cancel special districts because Ron DeSantis and no other Republican ever that knows any damn thing about politics is ever going to alienate the villages.
No. Oh, gosh, no.
The villages will stay a special district, and no Republican's ever going to alienate them.
And the Morse family is politically involved.
Right.
They're not there's a reason why Trump comes to the villages as often as he can.
100%.
But
this is a big national. This is a big national issue for him lining up to be president because he can say, "See, I stood up to big business," and he's doing it to impress the swing votes and the people of the I-4 corridor, which is a very, very important voting block nationwide.
Absolutely.
Nationwide, not just statewide, but nationwide.
I think Florida is firmly a red state now. I don't think that's an argument anymore. But it was a masterstroke in that it just, the base is very happy. You know, the people are like, we've got to get this done, are very happy. And at the same time, nothing's going to be done about it. It's just a shot fired across Disney's bow.
But it's great he fired it across Disney's bow and Jerry Deming's bow at the same time. That's what I find genius. That's what I find genius.
Not the villages.
Right, and not the villages.
It'll be interesting. Let's see how Disney reacts today, because I think they are hurting from because according to, I don't know if these are right, but a lot of reports, a lot of people have canceled their subscriptions to the streaming service.
Oh, they have.
They've canceled their park passes and everything.
Yep.
And again, it's hard. It's hard not to do that when you're targeting programs to, nurture kids to like trans people, and a lot of people think that's grooming, and that is a scary thing, because if you have a 6 or a 7-year-old, Disney is their whole world.
It is.
So I'm curious how I'm curious how Disney reacts today. The best thing they can do is nothing, right? He should have never, ever come out and said anything.
But he tried to do it to make his
shareholders of
employees
Disney,
happy. He did it to try to make his employees happy. And
And
by
that's
the
a
way,
bad idea.
it's a will hire state. Get more employees.
Right,
That
none
easy.
of them are going to leave their job.
No.
Right?
No.
Nobody was, and that's the same thing at Netflix. None of those people could work at any other Fortune 500 company with the way they act,
No.
thinking they have all the power, breaking into a corporate boardroom. We have a board of directors, and I like to think I'm kind of high on the food chain. But if I was just to interrupt the board meeting
Fired.
with something like this,
Fired.
I wouldn't be on this radio station
No.
doing this radio show anymore. I'd be sitting next to you going, I'm just trying to find a job.
Exactly.
Here's my LinkedIn information.
We'd have you as an intern. You'd be an intern in radio all of a
Right.
sudden again.
That's right. That's right.
Hey,
So again, it's not good.
got about
Let's see how they react.
got about 2 minutes. Speaking of not good, so I looked yesterday. Somebody sent me, a friend of mine at Channel 6, sent me the weekend ratings. And they circled 2 things on the weekend ratings, and it was quite a shock to me. The NBA playoffs
Yeah.
and the USFL game. They were running at the same time against each other. The NBA playoffs and the first week of the USFL.
Yeah.
The USFL got higher ratings than the NBA playoffs.
Sure did. Sure did.
Somebody
it sure
in the league offices in New York ought to be concerned when you can't even beat USFL, and the USFL game, from everything I've heard, I didn't watch a minute, but from everything I heard, stunk. And it still outdrew viewers over the NBA playoffs.
I watched a little bit of the Heat Hawks game on Sunday. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. I mean, the Heat could not miss. But I didn't watch any of the USFL.
Well,
Then again, I'm a streamer, so I don't think my numbers count.
Well, but
So.
the fact that the USFL beat the NBA, when I saw that, I was like, wow, there's trouble in New York City. Somebody needs to get in touch with the commissioner and Adam Silver and say, it's not all good in Mudville because Mighty Casey looked like he struck out.
And I don't know if you saw, but now LeBron is fighting to get a trade back to the Cavaliers.
Yeah. Well, he wants to go back home and bring a championship again.
Oh God!
I know.
Such a little.
Which
millennial
really means
team.
he wants to go to the East because he thinks the East is weaker than the West. That's all it means. That's all it means.
How many teams can he destroy in his career?
Oh,
He's destroyed the Cavs twice now.
and he's going to do it a third time. He'll do it a third time.
And now he's destroyed the Lakers.
Right.
You know.
He didn't
and
destroy
now-
the Heat. He didn't destroy the Heat. So, hey,
Well,
Galen.
that's because they didn't let him.
Yeah, where's the Bloodmobile? Yeah, Pat Riley wasn't letting that happen. Where's the Bloodmobile today?
That's right.
Got 10 seconds.
Hey, today, we're at the Villages, so come out there. But as always, we're right on the boulevard, lifesouth.org. Check us out. Give blood.
Galen, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.